Okay, welcome back everybody to Coffee and Art in the Morning, Monday morning, and we are now going on to another segment. We worked on a Bennett Klein page that we're continuing. I think we're up to part 4 now. And now we're going to take a couple hours to do some art cards. Eileen, green. So anyway, yeah, we did pink and purple art cards last time. Maybe we'll do some green ones today, Eileen. Maybe we'll do some green. So anyway, if you do not have not watched the show before, then you may not have seen how we do our art cards. They're 3x4. They're just little collage, mixed media collage art cards. Here's a few samples of ones that we've done in the past. I give these away. And I used to, and still occasionally, not very often, I use these and my mixed media journal pages to do paintings from, but I haven't had much time to do those paintings. I've been mostly concentrating for the last couple of years on portrait, color pencil portrait, realistic portrait paintings. I do people and animals. And if you follow me on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, you can go back in my feed and see a lot of my artwork. You don't have to follow me on Facebook. I made my artwork all public, so anybody can go into my photos and albums. You have to click on photos, and then you go into the albums, and then within the albums, I have it broken down into different, fan art, portraits, pets, color books. I have it all broke out in Facebook in different albums that are public, so you don't have to follow me to see them. Thanks, Carol. So instead of doing my usual, these are my favorite colors to use. I love like a Payne's gray blue, yellow ochres, sienna, black, white. I like some browns and reds, but last time I did pinks and purples, and so I think this time we might do some greens. So it's always the same process when I do when I start from a blank card or art journal page. I pick collage elements, then I paint, and then I add details, and I varnish them, I paint the backs. And so even if I'm just using like a 60 weight cardstock, by the time I'm done, they're nice and hefty. Okay, so we're going to try to get 6 of them done here in a couple of hours. I'm going to just start looking. I'm going to, since I want to use green, I want to use green as a main color theme. I'll probably try to find some things that are green. So it does take me a few minutes. I have asked, I said, well, should I just go ahead and do all this off camera? People go, no, they want to see me pick the collage elements. These are some marbles that I like to use for planets. Here's a nice arch. Don't need a purple flower. That's got some blue in it, but it's a little bit of green. Let's try to go with more green. This has got a pretty arch in it. I do like that. I think I might take a bit of that. You have to when you do art cards, the only difference between an art card and a journal page is you have to pick smaller elements. There's a nice watch part. Red, maybe I'll go with red and green, No, I don't think Eileen wants pink and green. Maybe I'll go with red and greens because, kind of your standard Christmas colors. I'm just kind of flipping through here, guys, through bits of collage elements. Here we go. There's some pink marbles there. And so in other words, I can't use something like this on an art card. I mean, I could, but that's pretty much it, right? I want to, I use smaller bits in my, in collages. I think that needs to be half that door would be good. We'll see. So I'm going to try to pick, I love elements of time in it. So I'm just kind of throwing some things out here right now, guys. No particular, other than the idea that I know I want to use green and maybe red. Green and red. Yeah. So just, oh, I like these little tiny ones. Those are good too. If at all possible, when you're making your collages, let me get my scissors. When you're doing collage, if at all possible, if you can have torn edges will blend with paint better, but there's some things you just need perfectly, you know, like a marble or something, or, you know, you need something perfectly round. And that's okay. You can cut it if you're going to, especially if it's just going to, you know, like lay on top of everything else. So it's not going to necessarily have to be really blended in. But that's kind of, after I cut it out, it looks quite dark. I don't think that's going to really pop. I need some for this tiny bit of a page. So I'm just going through here, which takes a bit of time, guys. So just give me a little patience while I select things. Again, I'm seeing everything I'm picking up is blue. I want to always add blue. There's a little bit of a watch bit there. So I just kind of finagle around with different, I don't want silver. But like, look at this. This is an ad for some kind of a, you know, alcoholic beverage, I guess. But look at that texture. Look at that texture. Hubby printed out your Christmas box. Oh, good, Steffi, good. Make sure if you are going to print out and color the fox, if you want to be entered into the New Year's Eve streamathon, to go put, you know, comment under the fox on my blog post, inkiwell.blogspot.com, print it out and leave a comment if you want to be entered into a color book drawing to get a color book on New Year's Eve. All right, let's see here. Flipping. Oh, here's some red nebulization stuff. I like that. So we're going to do red and green. We're going to, sorry guys, that incoming mail froze me up for a second. I think I need to go this way so it shows up. I want that and that. So you just kind of go along. What did Eileen say? Oh, I don't know. I missed something Eileen said, and Laura. They need to go in the corner. I have a feeling they need to go sit in the corner with Terry Trouble. Here's some more. That's a little too much. Maybe just a bit of that. Need some more watch parts. Might have to dig into my watch. Ah, here's a red one. Have to dig into my watch collection. Something like this. Not sure about this one yet. Another blue one. It's a bit of green and blue. I like that. The next time we do a page and want texture, you need to drink a glass of wine. See? Bandit's downstairs. Bandit, the guard of the minibar, he is downstairs because I've been putting him in the photo shoots. Oh, I like these green roses. Let's use a bit of those green roses right there. Maybe some of the red ones too, like that. Some red and green ones. I like-y. Okay, we'll put that. Let's see about getting some of these red ones. Got a glare. Light. I'm having to tilt my head every which way here. Okay. All right, I have to go into the box now. I've gone through this little stack of stuff. I need to move into, and I can't pick it up. I'm gonna have to just pull some things because I can't pick this box up. See if we can find some red and green flowers or something just to make it a little bit more festive. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, here's some red and green. Maybe a little bit of this. Let's go with this. Move those roses. Let's go with that. And make sure when you use collage elements, turn them all different ways. Okay, Sarah. Turn them all different ways. This green doesn't really go with that. Maybe this one needs some green. Here, let's go that. I think I want this arch here. Let me trim this down. And we'll go with this and that. Okay, now I need, looks like I need 2 more watch bits. And I got enough. Well, there's no red in this one yet. Maybe a little bit of hanging. Maybe a little bit. That's too much. Let's tear that down a little bit more. Like some floral coming over this arch. Like that. Okay, now let me go over here to my watches real quick. I don't think I have any more in here. I might put them all in a drawer. Let me flip. I have a box down here on the floor with all kinds of collage bits, but I don't want to lift it because it's heavy. Very heavy. Okay, let's see here. I need a gold, some kind of gold or black. Here we go. Here we go. This will probably work. All right, let's tear this in half. And I don't always have to have watch parts, but I like watches because I like indicating time. I like the other half better here. I like indicating time and little scenery and that can be behind. Let's see, a little bit of red and green showing like that. Okay, I like this. And I know people always go, put some people in it. It's like, put a bird on it. Put some people in it. Sometimes I do. All right, this one needs a bit of watch bit. But not very often. Because like I say, I like the I think I might want it this way. The you are the person. You're the person in there. I think I'll get that blue bit off there if I do it this way and trim off the blue. So just kind of talk it out. If you have any questions, put it in caps. We're going to do a giveaway here in a minute. Let me get everything glued down, then we'll stop and do a giveaway. Because I got 2 stamp sets here from Mom. So she sent, we gave 2 away last week. So this time I got a set of fairies, and it's got a big embossing plate behind it and paper. So there's little fairies, and she subscribes to the UK magazine. The what's it called here? The Papercraft. The Papercraft magazine that she gets from the UK, but she doesn't stamp. So she sends me the stamps for giveaways, and she also included, she tore out of the magazine the bits that go with that stamp set, where it shows what they, what somebody has done with those to make cards. So there's this one is the stamps of the fairies along with the embossing plate. And then the other set here is, again, with the little demo here. Hey, Mara, if you stay for a few minutes, you'd be in the drawing. I know, but everybody can't stay. I understand. Then this one's an Art Nouveau set. Here's that. So this is an Art Nouveau set, and it does not have an embossing thing. It's just got all these stamps. Look at that awesome stamp set. I mean, look. So Mom sent these in a package with 2 others that we already gave away. She sent those in a package that said, "For the girls, Merry Christmas." So yeah, thanks, Mom. All right, I do need one more watch. Let me dig for one more second. I mean, I like a little bit of architecture too. I don't know. Maybe. I just need a little bit of a. This one has some orange in it. Here's one with red. Let's go with this. I know, right? I know. Thanks so much, Mom. That's so sweet to share those. Okay, so here we go. Do I want this one? I kind of like the red, but the red could almost go over here to make that pop. Where this one could go. Here. Kind of like that better. All right. So let's see what else we can add here. Ooh, look, I'd cut this bit out. This is nice. Since we're doing red and green, this would be a nice little arch. This little bit of green from another watch part. We'll cut that out. Let me see my chat quit looking in. Yeah, I'm going to say, thank you, Donna. I know. Thanks, Dede's mom. I know. Thanks, Mom. All right, let's see here. What one might need some more green? That's too different of a green. It needs to be right here. It needs to be right there. Okay, so I'm liking that. What else do I need? Maybe a little, I'm still thinking some architecture. Some little building bits or something. This does take a little bit of time, guys. There's no 2 ways about it. So I've got different bits of buildings here. This is but I'm looking for. Okay, I'm liking this. This is some bits of, looks like in a monastery, some of their paintings and stuff, but I'm liking the color and the texture. I'm liking this texture down here. Let's see if it shows up enough. Some of this. Just for texture. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be the thing. It can just be part of the, I'm trying to see where I need that. No, it needs to be specific. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. And if you're watching and this is boring to you, just fast forward. I haven't used birds in a while. Maybe we can use some birds. We haven't done birds in a while. Let's see. Oh, that might be a little pink. Let's see. I don't know. Trying to think of what we can add. Some little tiny birds here. Could cut some of those out. 1 or 2 would be nice. Maybe flying across there. Let's see. See what it looks like. Here's a flock of 3 together. But it does take a bit of time, and I do explain the process every time we do it. I'm just cutting out some birds. I explain the process every time, what the products that we use and all that. When I'm gluing down, I use golden matte medium, and I just use Americana craft paint. So yeah, get to the glue in here in just a minute. So I got some little flock of birds. Might be nice. that. Let's see. Maybe one individual here. I'll just do a couple with these little birds. If you have any questions, put them in caps. If you're watching on YouTube, the recording, this is a live show on Ustream with a live chat, live people asking live questions. It gets chatty. Okay, let's get a different bird for different. They have to be tiny. You know, I got lots of pictures of large birds. Like here's a nice owl, but obviously too big for an art card. So you got to find some little bits for little bitty art cards. And I'm also looking for any more green or red that I might like. Oh, here we go. Here's a couple other kind of birds. Let's go with this one. I'm going to leave a little bit of a border, right? Really, you could tear it, because tearing blends much better than cutting with the paint. But I'm going to kind of add this one. All right, let's see. I'm going to keep going here. The swans are nice, but they're a little big. Here's an owl. Still with one of these little owls here. Oh, and I like these little parakeets. Well, they are kind of red and green. Let's see if I can get one of these little parakeets on one side, and there's a little owl here. Hope everybody's enjoying the chat. It's a little owl. I like the little owl. Okay, and then I got these little parakeets. Let's just use one. They have a little orange in them, but they're green, and I like it. All right, so we got this one needs a bird or something on it too. Let's see. Put a bird on it. Put a bird on it. I'll cut out another parakeet. That would be nice, just right in the middle, and have the, what do you call it, coming out of his head. All right, I think we're good. I think we got enough to go start on here. All right, let me pick some of this up. Get it off the table. Sip of coffee. And we'll start gluing. Jess wants to make art cards. You need one magazine, and you'll have a calendar. I use a little bit of everything: calendars, old books, magazines, themed magazines. You know, get magazines that have themes of things you like. All right, now I'm going to get my some of this so I don't trip over it. Okay, and I use, let me get this here, a brush to glue with, and I do keep some old brushes in glue and water that I use for glue. I just squirt out some, I use Golden Matte Medium. Here's what the jar looks like, just in case. But I pour it into dish soap jars. And then you can just squeeze out how much you like, how much you need. It's a lot easier than trying to pour out and then make sure your jar lid is clean enough that you don't glue the lid shut. And I always put a baggie on the lid so that you don't glue the lid shut. Okay, so the easiest way to keep track of what you're doing, you can take a picture if you want of the whole thing so you remember where things are. Or if you've done it 1,000 times, just take another card Just take another card. Now I'm going to just kind of slide these up out of my way for now. They're going to go off of camera. But take a new card, and then you can look at what you're doing. So you're not like sliding everything off and go, where was everything? Yeah. So I'm going to just get my golden matte medium. And what I do is I put a base coat of the golden matte medium on the card. And then you have to go from the back forward, right? So the very back piece, and put it on the back and then over the top. It does matter. I got a little bit of water still in this brush. Let me dab that out. A little bit of water in there. Hang on, guys. There was still water in my brush. Let me get a tissue here or something to dab off some. I got a little bit of excess water on that, so let me re-glue here. You can kind of keep track of where you're going with things. And while it's wet, you can kind of pick it back up. So like if I put this down here and I wanted this little bit of rose to be like right behind there, it's still wet. You can still pick it up and kind of tuck things under while it's still wet. My mailman. Like this. I want this bit on here. And don't worry about if stuff hangs over the edge, if it's excess, because what I do is I just let it fly over the edge, and then I trim it off after I hit it with the heat gun. I want that little bird right there. Okay, then you can take a card, just take a kind of a card, and now while it's wet they'll move easy, so you got to kind of, but you want to smash everything down, and that will get out any wrinkles. And so there's the initial stage. And see how much is hanging over? As soon as I dry it, I'll trim that. So now I'm done with that one. I'm going to set it aside, and then I'll take this card and work on the next one. And I didn't want that blue in there, so I'm going to cut that off. So I'm just going to continue on. Get back there, little owl. Okay, and just keep moving. Let's get all 6 of them glued down here. Let's go with this bit, this one here first. Then we dry it, trim it, and then we'll start on with the paint. If you have any questions, just put them in caps. Okay. And it does start getting a little sticky there after a while. You don't want to glue your card to the to the wax paper. Okay, now we're going to go with this one. But it's the same process I do on all the art cards. I just, the only time I really have to make them is here on stream, so we try to do it, like once a month or something. Make some more. Because I give them away. I kind of haven't seen much chat. I haven't seen any caps in chat, so I'm thinking y'all don't want to talk to me. Just kidding, guys. I don't. The chat rolls by. I probably miss a lot, but okay. Let's go down with this one. And you can put as many elements as you want in there, but I like to add a lot of detail with the paint. Chatting about birds. Well, you should know, Sarah. Sarah, there's a few people here that have birds. Who else has birds? Sarah. Who else? Let's put that one upside down. Hi, Susan B. Thanks for being here. All right, so now we've got them all glued down. I'm going to set them aside. I'll hit this with the heat gun in a minute. I don't care if I get paint on my desk, but I don't want glue on here because then I'll be sticking everything to itself. So now we're done with the gluing. Now let me get a baby wipe, clean my hands, and we'll do a giveaway. If my mods are up for herding cats. And we'll let these just sit for a second while I do the giveaway. Then we'll dry them, trim them, and start with the paint. Let's make sure get a tissue here to make sure that's dry. This is just a table. It's a folding table, a 6-foot folding table that I cover with black paper, craft paper. And it's real cushiony because I don't take the last layer off. I just cover it with another layer. And after about 10 layers, it does get a little too squishy, and then I take them all off and start over. But yeah, there's probably about 10 layers of paper under here. And if it gets too messy like this, I just I'll paint it black. I'll just paint this black because this is the part everybody sees when I'm streaming. So what I do is I just put a coat of black acrylic paint over it and then carry on. Okay, so now I'm done with the glue, so I'm going to put this back in the water and pick up all my glue bits here. Put that back on the shelf. And pick this up. All right, now sip of coffee, and we're going to do a giveaway of those 2 stamp sets. So how it works, while I'm looking up random.org on my iPad here. Oh, let me show again, because I did think I saved the photo to my iPad. It's bigger. Yeah, here it is. In case you don't follow me on Twitter, I did post this on Twitter. Here are the here's all the studio mascots with Vern squirting them with the hose. It says Mischief. This is right before the storm came through. And I set them up Hubster and I, he calls them my puppets. I said, can you help me set up the mascots in a photo shoot? He goes, you mean the puppets? He calls them the puppets. So anyway, yeah, Vern is getting into some mischief there. So we set this up out in the front yard. All right, so how, let me go find random.org. So how it works, don't put any numbers in yet. When you see me type in the word go, then put in a number between 1 and 100. Let's put in random. And the 2 people closest, I'm going to give away these 2 stamp sets. The person closest can pick the first one, and then the second stamp set will go to the person the second closest. Okay, so I got my random.org. I'm going to enlarge the little box here, and I'm not going to generate a number. I'll do that here in a second on the show when after everybody puts in their numbers. And my mods go back and check and make sure, you know. I know, I love that too, Terry. Okay, so remember, a number between 1 and 100, one number only. One number only, guys. The person closest, yeah, wait for it. The person closest without going over, okay? Or I should say the 2 people closest without going over. I know there's a chat lag, but when you see numbers rolling by, put in a number. Put in a number. All right, let me get a couple of things ready here. Between 1 and 100. My mods are allowed to play too. They have just as much chance of, you know, and trust me, they work, they do a lot around here. And I appreciate them. So everybody put in a number between 1 and 100. I'll give everybody a minute. When I don't see any numbers being put in, I'll type in stop. Okay. Just make sure everybody gets one in. Don't wait too long. If I put in stop, that's it. Okay, so now let's generate a number. Remember the two people closest without going over. All right, let's generate. 32. The two people closest to 32. The number was 32. The two people closest. And I know, guys, I know chat lags. I know there's problems. This is the best way I know how to do a giveaway. So, yeah, don't email me. Okay. And the mods are going to scroll back and see the two people closest. And while they're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and dry these real quick and then trim them. So let me dry these real quick. Let everybody look. Everybody can scroll back. I mean, anybody can scroll back and see who the two closest were. I let, okay, so it looks like Carla and B Ghost. Is that, they both had 28? Carla and B Ghost. All right, B Ghost, you want to pick which one you want, and then Carla won the other one. Okay. I don't think B Ghost has ever won anything. Carla's won before. All right, which one do you want? Not that it matters. You can win more than once, trust me. So do you want the B Ghost? Do you want the Art Nouveau? Or do you want the fairies? Which one do you want? It's Beloved Ghost, but I know who B Ghost. All right, so there we go. B Ghost, do you want the fairies? Now remember, this one has an embossing pad with it. So you probably can't use it if you don't have an embossing pad, but you might like the stamps. And then this one is the Art Nouveau. So which one do you want, B Ghost? Let me give them a second to answer. The fairies. Okay, so Beloved Ghost wants the fairies. And Carla's going to get the Art Nouveau. How's that? So thanks again, Mom. And I'll send the I'm going to send the sheets that she took out of the magazine that go with it, right? Okay. There we go. So I hope y'all enjoyed that. Those will go out. Again, I probably won't get all these out till next week. You know, so give it a couple of, give it a week or so, guys. I'm good at sending out. I'm not on the bad list, which is bad at mailing, on the BAM list, I mean, which is bad at mailing. I'm a good mailer. Just saying. Yeah, that's true, Eileen. You can ink the embossing folder and use it as a stamp. That's true, Eileen. Thanks for that tip. Okay, so now let's get back to our art cards. I hope y'all, yeah. Yep, your first win, B Ghost. I know. And a thanks to Dede's mom. Exactly, Scooby. Exactly. Okay? Thanks, Mom. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get to painting these. And I think Janet plans on streaming at 1. She is Monkey Island Madness on Ustream and YouTube. Monkey Island Madness is her show. And we convinced her to start streaming on Mondays at 1. So, yeah. All right, so I'm going to get out some paint. I'm going to just get, all my palettes are just coffee lids. However, and it's with acrylic. Now, when I'm using watercolor, I want it on a white because watercolor, you can't see color on black. But acrylic paint, I can see fine with the black paint. So, I'm going to get a few shades of green here. I'm going to go with the Irish Moss. And I always put out way more than I need, which is why you should have a desk journal or a junk journal handy to scrape your extra. Okay, let's see. Looking for my colors. I think I want to, no, I don't want any tealy colors. Let's stick with, this is Hauser Green Dark. So in a couple of shades, even though there is a little bit of teal, maybe I just might need a touch of teal. Antique teal. I think this one's almost out, though. Let's see. Let's see if I can pour out just a touch. There we go. And again, I use Americana paints, just craft paint. They're matte. I don't use any satin or gloss paints. All right, now I need a couple of reds. Let's go with the nice, bright primary red. And a darker red. Let's go with some kind of a maroon color. Let's see. Napa red. No, well, maybe. No, let's see. I think I want to go with, no, cranberry wine might be. Let's go with it. Cranberry wine's a little purple red. That color. And then, of course, black and white, which I keep over here on the side. And if you follow, I mean, if you buy Americana, you probably recognize that they've changed their logo from this to this. So now they have a big deco art right there. Whereas the other one didn't. I'll probably zoom in here a little bit, guys, so you can see the individual cards. All right, so I need some white and some, because I can't hold it up. It won't, I take the autofocus off. After I set the focus, I take the autofocus off, because if you don't take the autofocus off, it goes woo, woo, like it comes in and out. The focus comes in and out and in and out, because it wants to focus, right? And that's fine if you're constantly pulling something right up there, but it does zoom in and out. That irritates me. So I turn the autofocus off once I get something focused. So let's go ahead and we'll just, we'll work on one card at a time, but I will zoom this in like this. All right, now I'll refocus. I think that's good. I always test it with my Sherry card. This works the best to focus than anything I have. All right, or focused, I think. So that way you can see real close up. Okay, if you have any questions, put it in caps. All right, so now get out a baby wipe or two, and we'll go through probably a lot of baby wipes. I'll need a little bit of a brush, probably. Let me get a nice little flat angle brush. Something small, but not too tiny. This one looks good. This one might work. But mostly, I use my fingers and paint in my, what do you call it, baby wipes. All right, let's move things around. So I got my paint and my... All right, so usually how I start out, the first thing I like to do is get rid of all the white. And so I usually go through and get rid of all the white on the card. Now, the other thing about a reason that you like, it's nice to use matte medium is because even on a non-slick image, if you get something on it, because it's got the matte medium on it, you can take a baby wipe and completely wipe it away. It will completely wipe off. Well, there we go. You don't wipe it with the same spot. So you can remove paint real easy with when it's coated with the matte medium, and blend. See how I can blend that in? It's because of the matte medium that I'm able to do that. All right, but I do want to add some more green. I'm going to make some little landscapes here. Okay, going to do a little bit of landscapes and things going on. And this is just purely subjective. It's just how, this is totally up to you as far as what kind of worlds you make. Okay, now because these are tiny little fussy cut elements, I have to get in there with the brush because they're tiny fussy cut areas. I think I'll make his feathers stick out more too in the end. All right, so now I'm going to get some dark green in here and just kind of blend out all those cut edges. So if you have any questions, just ask, but this is kind of this process right here. It's not like I can say, oh, you do this and that, and, it's just random. It's random here on this part. So right now I'm just getting rid. I'm going to take some of this maroon color and get rid of that red line right there. Add a little bit of green leafage coming over the top here. So just ask if you have any questions, but it's kind of, I don't know what you'd kind of ask, but I explain this process all the time. It's the same process, same process. All right, I'm going to let that sit up, and this is just the base coat again, remember. Although, let me go ahead and sharpen up that circle there. So yeah. I know it kind of looks like a hot mess for a minute. All right, so again, let's go to the next one. And I don't worry about getting anything on the back because the backs I paint black and sign the backs. I don't varnish the backs, but I paint the backs, black, so it doesn't really matter if something that happens just to get on there or something. All right. And your baby wipes get full of paint real quick. So you need to, you have to, get a lot of them. You'll go through a lot of them, I should say. All right, a couple of maroon colors, and let's just kind of get in there. And if you don't over mix things, you keep it kind of marbleized looking, it gives it more oomph. And we're going to add stars and water and mist and fog and All kinds of yummy stuff. But this is just the initial getting rid of backgrounds. And I'm going to get rid of these watch hands because I'm going to point them in the direction I want them. And you know that if you know that watches are all set at the exact same time, 10 after 10, because it makes the photographs, it makes the watch hands stand out, and it doesn't cover up their logos, which I paint out. But that's why they do watch hands, so that it doesn't cover up their logos. And yeah, all right, so there we go. That's good. That's a good base right there. Again, a little bit more maroon right around his little feet here. Something like that. And they're going to be varnished. So when you hit it, when you put the varnish on at the end, it makes them all, like, let me get here. Let me show you a couple that I have in my samples. Let's clean my hands and get some fresh baby wipes. And I use Huggies baby wipes, Huggy Natural Care. Don't get the aloe and the soapy ones because they are squishy and soapy. Don't get those. Just get the Huggy. I use the Huggies Natural Care. Okay, so let's set this one aside. So here's a couple that are finished and varnished. See how they're varnished? So this is kind of what they look like when all is said and done. So there's a few samples right there. Again, I give them away, so I don't have a whole lot. All right, so let's go to the next one. Go with some dark green on this. Some red in there and green. Maybe a little black down here underneath. And if I want to get tight around something, then I'll get in there with the brush. Because my finger, you know, can only form around things so much. That. Then if you get any paint anywhere you don't want it, you're still unpacking art stuff. You found 3 packs of baby wipes. Score! I know. That's good, Susan. Thanks, guys. Score! All right. Let me get right around this little owl. And I'll just wipe up some of that excess paint so I'm not dragging my sleeves through it. All right. All right, I'll add some more green in here in a minute. I'll just let this set for a minute or hit it with the heat gun. So it's just I'm just getting rid of the white. Remember, guys, this is just getting rid of the white. That's all I'm trying to do right now. And I'll pick up more than one color on my finger because that will make it model-y looking and not so flat. If you have more than one color on your hand, it just makes it more lively. So again, I'm just going to get rid of all the white. And then I'll have to fussy paint around the birds. And it is flashing out a little when I go flat there. Let's get a little more maroon on there. And it is kind of thick, guys. The paint is, when I'm doing this with my finger like this, it is thick. It's quite thick. I mean, I know maybe it's kind of hard to tell. Oops. It's kind of hard to tell how much. I'm going to just paint out those hands. I like to paint in my own. So let's get around those birds here. don't have any old brushes to use for glue. I just use as my brushes get old, now not this tiny, but as my brushes get old, you can buy brushes, you can buy a set of old kids brushes at Michael's or Hobby Lobby for like $1. Seriously, you can buy a set of old cheap brushes. You know, if you don't have any brushes, just go buy one for glue. But you can get some cheap brushes, and all my brushes, guys, they're just like Artist Loft, or they're not, you know, my expensive brushes, the ones I do have, like for oil painting, the sables and all that, I don't use those for acrylic. They're put away for when I use oils, which I rarely do anymore. But yeah, you can get cheap brushes and just pick one, a nice size one, to put in water, and just leave it in water for brushes, for glue, I mean. So there, we're going to start with that. Just leave it at that for a minute. Got 2 more here, guys. All right. And I'm just cleaning out this one little brush here that I'm using for the details. All right, so let's see. Let's put some green down here. See, that's quite thick. I mean, I don't know if you can tell how thick that is. There you go. So it's quite thick. Because then you have room to play with the paint. It moves and blends, and you can do all kinds of things when it's kind of thick like that. Yes, I leave the glue. Yeah, if you don't leave it in water, it'll harden up. I have a bucket over there of probably about 8 brushes. And as my brushes, it's usually about this size or bigger, like this size to, you know, these kind of sizes. When they get crusty and old, I just throw them in the glue jar. The glue water, I should say. And they just sit in there. Those are the only brushes I leave in water. All my other brushes I take good care of and clean them out, and they last a long time. But eventually they're going to get, you know, scruffy, and then, you know, you can even use the scruffy brushes for things, textures and things. Does Dede like to wash? Yeah, I wash my brushes. I have a big bucket of water right next to me that it needs emptying out and cleaning, fresh water in. But I constantly clean my brushes. Okay, so let's just get right along here. Let me clean it up a little. I mean, I just threw that little brush in the water. I'm getting ready to use it again. I mean, I'll leave it in the water long enough, like during my project here, but I don't let them sit in water. Okay, they'll just sit in water just while I'm working. Okay, I think I want a red or around there, which I could do in color pencil too. Oh, and that's the other thing. If you use color pencil on top of your acrylic paint, which is nice, but you go to varnish it, make sure you just, like, when you varnish, don't rub the varnish. See how quick that baby wipe got dirty? You go through a lot of baby wipes. I sometimes will go through, depending on how much art journaling I do, I can go through a box a week because you use a lot. Anyway, what I was saying is, when you use color pencil on top of your acrylic paint and you're going to varnish your cards, you need to make sure you don't rub your varnish. Like rub, you know, and I always just, like on my art cards here, I always try to do one here, show you how I varnish one. Don't rub it too much because you'll rub the color pencil off. I know it's waterproof, but you can rub it off if you, like, you know, with the varnish, it can rub off. Okay, so there's a start for that one. One more to go, guys. We got one more base coat here to go. Okay, so I'm just going to Put on some red and green. And probably need some black around there with maybe just a little bit of red and green. Some kind of a mist or something up here. Let's get some black on here. But it's the same process. If you've watched me do these art cards, my art journals, my any collage-y bits, it's all the same. I do it exactly the same. Just different colors and different elements. Hey, DRD. You have one of these lovebirds? Yeah, my grandma had some of these. So I'm just going to paint it in real quick. I'm going to dry them. I'm going to add some stars and start adding water and whatever else. So there we go. I'm laying it down a little. It flashes out a little that way, but there you go. It's kind of, you can see the color like right there. Okay, so let's go ahead and dry. Let's see, I need a little bit more red here, a little bit. Alrighty. Have you got all your? No, I have not got. Hey, Tar Heel Teresa. I got everything I had to mail done. But Boo wanted to help me shop, and she's not going to be here till Wednesday night, so we're not going to be able to shop till Thursday morning. So she and I are going to go out shopping bright and early Thursday morning. I'm just going to get some of the excess off here. Need to redo my nails. And that is one of the things about the matte medium. It is a little tricky to get off your hands. So you need a craft scrubby, or you have to just settle for taking it off with fingernail polish remover. It's tricky business. All right. I like saying that. Paula says that all the time. Okay. So you go through them. All right, let me go ahead and hit these with the heat gun real quick. 1 second. 1 moment, please. Let me dry my spot here. Guys. Bye, Faith. Thank you for stopping in. Nice to meet you. Okay, I think I got it. And sometimes, like, I can tell, see, look, right there, I didn't quite get that little foot glued down. I'll just go in there with a touch of, you know, Eileen's tacky glue. And if I missed getting something glued down, I'll just get in there with that. And you can glue things down with any glue, but the benefit of gluing down with the Golden Matte Medium is because of the process that you can do on top of it. The blending and removing of paint, that won't work if you don't have that on there. You know, I know people say they use Mod Podge and stuff like that. The main reason I don't like Mod Podge is if you use it in art journals, you can glue it. It sticks. It's sticky. It stays sticky. Though every time I've ever tried, you know, and I haven't used it in years, so maybe they've changed the formulation. I don't know. I just love my Golden Matte Medium. Okay, so now we got to start, and again, it's a little. There we go. I want to try to get the. Well, it's fine when I tilt it a little. I think that's okay. All right, so now what I want to do is start. I'm going to get a little bit of white paint in a little tray here. I've been using this little coffee lid to water down. And what I do is I just add clean water and water this down. Get a nice fluffy brush here. And when I say a fluffy brush, I just mean you know, like, see how that's kind of soft and fluffy hairs. And then I'll just make, it's like ink consistency, and then do a little tap off there. And now I'm going to tap in some stars here. Okay. You can do them individually. If you get something where you don't want it, just wipe it away. You can do them individually if you want. I just find it easier to get some stars on there with a quick splatter. I think I'll put a little reflection down there. This is going to be a cave. Okay, so there we go. Oh. Yeah, things. Yeah, I have got some products on them years ago, which I've since used all that up. Those 2 cases, yeah, I've used all up since those years. Okay, so now let me hit this with the heat gun again. I'm going to start painting in some details. If you paint over any of the stars, you can splatter some more in there or dot them individually. All right, let's see which one do I want to start with. Maybe this one. If you have any questions, just put them in caps. It's a little... Okay, so let's see. I think I'll get a couple of greens and a red. Hang on. And of course a black one. I'm just going to get a few pencils. I don't know if I'm going to need them or what yet, but I'm going to get those and a black and a white. And we'll start with these 2 here. Oh, well, some of them are. Look, this is a small one and this is a large one. Yeah. This is the, I forget what ounces they are. Yeah. This one's small that I use just for the white paint to water it down. But this is the size I buy and use. Yeah, I have stacks of them. That's for sure. Okay, I need to get crack-a-lack in here, guys. We're going to run out of time. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of glow around this bird. I might even add a little bit of more feather edge here. Again, I don't know that I'll get them all done, but I'll at least try to finish 1 or 2 and varnish 1 just so you can kind of see where I'm going with it. Okay, but you can get in there with paints, more paint. Where's my brush? Okay, so I want to get in here with make this like a little cave here. And this is the fussy part. This is my favorite part of doing art cards, is this part. The fussy part takes, you know, it can take the longest part of time, but to me it's also the funnest part. Adding the little painterly scenes in here. Do you do anything with the rest of the coffee can? No, I don't. I throw them away. Yeah. I've kept a few, like, you know, out in the garage. I have stuff stored in them and everything. But no, I I can't. There's no way. I would be a hoarder. If I tried to keep all the coffee cans that I use, I would definitely be a hoarder. Because there's so many. All right, let me paint out this watch hand here. And again, it doesn't matter if some is shiny, and if you have, like, some images might have gloss on them, or because I'm going to varnish them all. It doesn't matter to me whether some is shiny and some is matte. Although when you put the matte medium over everything, they're all matte anyway. But then you can add your gloss varnish at the end. And it's flashing out a little bit, guys. There's the color right there. There's the true color of the card. But when I lay it down, see. All right, so now let's see what I want to add to this one. Let me dry it because I got the black on there. Right, now I'm going to add some watch hands and some, can go in here and dot more stars in. Make some shooting stars. Whatever you want to do. I think I will. I'm going to think how I want this to be. I think I want one to come out that way. And then this one to come up that way. Denise wouldn't let me become a hoarder. I know, Orla. So true. All right, let's see. I got a couple of greens over here. Let's see here. A little bit of a green kind of glow coming from that. This really is. I need to add a little bit of green to this teal. It's a little bright, maybe just a little bit. Tone it down just a little. And then I think I want more green as a glow instead of the white. That way we can keep the white around the bird. He looks like he needs another wing down there. Make this one a little longer, a little fluffier. Something like that. And that maybe a little red. All right, let's add a little bit more mountainous texture-y stuff. You see how I'm adding some red in here with pencil? You just have to be careful when you go to varnish that you don't rub that off. Okay. I think I want a little bit of a mist right here, and then I'm going to call this one done. So let me get a baby wipe here, and what I do, I just get some white paint on my baby wipe, and I rub it off on my hand, because what that does is it rubs it into the baby wipe and thins it out real thin, thin. Then you can do mist. Nice soft mist. See? You can control it like that. And you might have to let that dry if you want another layer, because otherwise you're going to wipe that layer off. So you might have to let one layer dry and then go back in there with another. I think I wanted a little bit more misty coming across there like this. Like that. Yeah, there we go. And then I think I'll put just a little up here too. It can be a cloud, a mist. Maybe just a little more. And then maybe just one little, let me hit this with the heat gun. Hi, Carrie! I think I want just a little bit of, now I want a little bit of brighter here. Just a touch. If it gets too thick, I'll go in there with the baby wipe and wipe it back. Just a little bit down here like that. And then maybe with a white Posca, let's do one little glowy thing here. Tiny little star glow coming from behind that planet. Like that. So there. That needs a little bit on the bird too. You can have a little bit more. Okay. A couple more stars here and there. Maybe a couple of bigger ones. I think I like that. Let's put a little glow around this one. So there. All right. Barely see his little beak. I think I'm going to get in there with just the tiniest little permanent pen just to see his little beak, just the tiniest bit. Okay, I think we're done with this one. So, what do y'all think, guys? Do you like this one? They all turn out different. There's no two alike because they're not planned. I mean, like I like to use certain elements. You know, mist, water, fog, clocks, watch hands. You know, I like to use some of the same elements, but I never know how it's going to turn out other than I like making worlds with those elements. Okay, so there we go. There's that one. Now I'm going to go ahead and varnish it. Now I don't paint, see how I got all the paint on the back? I'll paint this black, but I don't paint it black till after I varnish. I try to remember not to paint the backs black until after I varnish, because then if I get any varnish on the back, you're going to see that shine. Whereas if I get the varnish on it now, it doesn't matter because I'm going to paint over it, right? A nice flat black if I get a little smudge of varnish or something. So I don't paint the backs black. Let me get one here. Do I have one that's complete? My samples here. Yeah, here we go. This is what the backs look like when I'm done. I usually put a little shooting star, sign it, but there's no varnish on the back. Okay, and then there's what see how shiny that is? So the varnish I use, oh, thanks, Orla. This is the varnish I use. Delta Ceram Coat Gloss Exterior Interior Varnish. And it's about $10, $11 a bottle. Might have gone up since the last time I bought it. But you can use a 40-50% off coupon. And it lasts a long time. Because watch, I'm going to show you how little I use. And when I put it on an art journal page, sometimes I'll put one like squirt of water with it just to help me get it to flow, because it's pretty thick. But anyway, with the art cards, you don't need to add any water. It's, you know, so I usually just put about that much, size of a nickel or so. Now remember, I'm not going to rub because I don't want to rub off any pencil. But all I do is I just lightly take my finger and roll it around, and then just fly it right off the edges. The less times you go across it, the better. But it's nice and a nice thick coat, and that's it. Okay, it'll dry flat. You can tilt it and see where you might have missed a place. It has a little bit of milkiness to it. It's a little milky at the start, but it dries perfectly clear like this. See, can you see how it has a little bit of milkiness to it? But this is what it'll look like when it's done. So you see how milky the black areas look? They'll look like this when it's completely dry. And I would, I'd like to let them dry overnight. This is like 60 pound. I would recommend 90 pound, a little thicker. If you're not used to doing collage, if you're not used to it, I would recommend a little heavier. But by the time you get all these layers on here, the collage, the paint, the matte medium, the varnish, and then painting it on the back, this is quite thick. By the time you're done, it's, probably, 110 weight by the time you're done. I'll use anything, but if I was going to tell someone to use something, I would say, I missed a little spot right there. I can see the shine. I would recommend using a heavier cardstock if you're not used to doing this, okay? Because there's no sense you fighting against a thin piece of paper. So, yeah. Hey, Yuli. So this is what it'll look like when it's dry. The shine, see? But right now it looks a little milky. All right, so let me set this one aside. Make a stack over here. And like I said, I usually let them dry overnight. All right, let's do a couple more. We've got about 20 minutes. Yeah, if you don't like using your finger, use on my art journals, in the art journals that are bigger, I use one of these sponge brushes. This is what I use when I use to varnish my art journal pages. Just a sponge brush. If you use a regular brush, you might get lines. So Laura, if you're afraid to touch it, use a sponge brush. Because you won't get brush lines. All right, let's keep moving on here. Let's go to another one. Let's do this bird one here. Okay, and again, it's a little flashed out. There's the color right there. All right, so now I'm going to get in here with my brush, and I'm going to get rid of you can leave the names of the watches if you want. And again, I think I'll just go ahead and paint out the hands because I'm not sure I want them going at 10 after 10. All right. And let's see. Let's put a little bit more landscape in here. Just a little bit more. Go a little bit more green in there. Laura probably won't use her. Yeah, that's what I said. You can use a foam brush, guys. All right, let me dry that. Maybe this one will have a little bit of water. Okay, I'm going to take my red. I'm going to get a little bit of glow around it here. On that side. Maybe a little planet or two in color. And you could just take the back of a brush, put a little dot there, make a little planet or two. Okay, let's see. Now I'm going to be careful not to touch that wet paint. You probably should dry it. I just want a little bit of a glow around it there. Maybe we'll do, I was going to say we could do like Jupiter with some rings around this one, but that'll kind of interfere with my watch hands here, so maybe we'll do that on the next one. All right. Yeah, I think I will go ahead and dry it because I want my watch hand to actually touch that planet. I got a couple stars on my little parrot here. I'm going to wipe those off. There we go. All right, so I want one watch hand to come right through that planet like this. And the other one to go that way. let me hit it with the heat gun. Just want to add a little bit of color, a little bit more white, feathering. I didn't let it dry 100%, it's smearing just a little. I like that little 8 peeking out right there. Link for Ustream. I click to follow. I think you have to go into your settings and hit, there's a follow, allow for email links. I don't remember, it's been a while since I looked at it. To get notification, you mean? Okay, let's see. Do I want some water in this one? I think I'm just going to have a little bit of mist. Not even really need to, maybe just a little bit right here. I'll add water on the next one. I think I just want just a little bit of misty something going on here. You're just having all kinds of problems today, aren't you, Margaret? All right. Just a little like mist, garden mist, you know. Don't even need that much down there. Something like that. Okay, let's see. Let's do another one. I'm not going to varnish this right now because I want to get some more done. All right, let's see. This one can have some water. Let's go with some water on this one. Okay, let's see. How do I want? Do I want another thing up there? Do I just want it dripping off here, I think? Okay, let me go ahead and get rid of the watch hand here. So I'm going to put my own in there. He's in charge of his world. Okay, I got to dry that real quick. Yeah, Janet's going to stream here at 1. In Monkey Island Madness. That's the name of her show. So you'll follow Janet. I'll have to go get something to eat, so I'll be late. But all right, a little bit of water there. Let's do a little bit more. I'm going to want a little bit of mist up in here. A few more stars. Let's see. Dry real quick. Again, I should just use the back of the brush. Get a nice red. we go. Part of the course. Feel free to donate a card to Laura Needs Art. Are you? I think you're on the art card list, aren't you, Laura? Aren't you on the art card list? Art card list? I'm pretty sure you are. Oh, I got too much white up here. Doesn't need to be that much. Need to do it with the brush. Got to. Oh, Michael's has air dry clay on sale. It's the DOS brand, D-A-S, DAS or DOS brand. Jean is just saying. She got it for $4. Where'd you get it, Jean? She says that it's the $17.99 brand at Michael's. But I missed where you got it. Okay, Laura. Do I have your address? So email me your address. I thought you were already on the art card list, but that's fine. Just email me your address so I can add you. I missed, Jean, where you got it. Got the clay. Trying to read chat here, guys. All right, let's see here. Let's do a little bit of oomph. Papa, papa. Okay. Okay, Mom's said she got her package today. If she was watching earlier, she knows what she got. Because I told it. Oh, well, I didn't tell her which color book I sent her, and she probably knows anyway that I sent her a color book, so. I didn't say which one. Okay, let's see. Yeah, you have to email me, guys. You have to email me. I can't stop and get stuff here. Okay? Please. Okay. All right, that. Now let's go in here with a few more little things. I'm going to put some watch hands. I'm trying to get as many of these done. I still have, 10, 15 minutes. Not that Janet would care if I went over, but I'm just saying I'm trying to get her done. Get her done. There we go. Okay, I think it needs... No, I don't want to go that way because it's going to look like I'm poking the watch hands out of his head. We don't want to do that. I don't want to look like he's being stabbed. So let's go this way. And let's go behind the planet. Like that. Because I don't want to look like we're stabbing the poor little owl with a spear or something, Let's not do that. But this one, we can come up here through this planet as well, like that. Like that. Now, I need a few more little... Okay. Let's see. Let's go with a little bit of green underneath. Dark green shadow under this one. show my sisters and nieces your fox drawing and they agree. Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet, Jean. I hope you printed it out. If they're color bookers, you printed one out for them. Okay, needs a little bit more mist coming across here, I think. And then we'll call this one done. Again, guys, once they're varnished, they have that nice sheen to them, you know. Yeah, there we go. It's just a tiny bit coming off of this edge. There we go, like that. Like that. All right. Feel a sneeze coming on. Hang on, guys. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Last segment, I forgot to show my Bennett Klein pages that I colored. I turned around to sneeze, and I saw the book sitting on the floor. I forgot to pull those back out and show you guys. So we'll have to do that next time. All right, so I think that's pretty good there. Kind of liking that. All right, let me hit it with the heat gun. Again, I'll varnish these after the fact. I want to try to get it. I want to try to get some more of these done. Let's see here. Let's go in with a little bit more green here. Don't want to make too big a mess on my desk. This. Got white in there. I need a fresh baby white. Alrighty. All right. I think I'll use this one right here for the watch hands. So let's paint down a little bit of some of this. A little too much stuff in there. Okay. Need to send Dede mental thoughts. Make a there's plenty of color books out there. If I'm gonna, here's the thing I really want to work on in the new year, guys, and I know I've been saying it for months. I want to get my Society 6 up this next year for my animal, you know, to do my animal things on Society 6, where you can get phone covers. And I know, Terry, don't email me. I think, oh, she's still here. Phone covers and posters, or any, you can get it on anything, actually. All right, let me, I think those will be fine for the watch hands. All right, let's dry this real quick. Again, there's the color. See, it flashes out when I lay it flat like that. But okay, I want one more little planet. Let me get my little brush here. Let's do a little green one here. Okay, let me dry that. Get my and that one will stop right there. Like that. All right. There's tons of them. I just have looked at them, and I think I like Society 6. There's Those different ones, there's Red Bubble, there's, there's a whole bunch of different ones, guys, that will sell your stuff and package it and make it, send it. I mean, they charge, probably about half, but they make it and send it out, so I don't have to worry about doing any of it. You know what I mean, Vern? All right, now I need, where's my white pencil? I need a little bit of glow around the top. Well, I don't even need a shooting star. I think I'll just go with that. A little bit of green in there. I'll take pictures of these guys and post them on Twitter when we're done. Something like that. I kind of just like the way they just end like this. Although I think I want a little bit darker green right in there. A little extra oomph. Okay. There's a lime green. I need a little green in there. Okay, need a little red right there. We go. All right, there's that one. That needs green. That needs to be lime green there. It has some white in there. I don't want white. I want green. There we go. Okay, so we'll set this one aside. Two more real quick, guys. Let's see what we can do real quick with these. Let's see. We'll make these some quick ones here. All right. Again, I don't want watch hands coming out looking like they're going to stab the bird. You gotta kind of watch that. All right, so I'll have one coming right here. There we go. All right, let's do a little bit of bird glow here. Just a little bit of angel-esque like. Let's take those tail feathers out a little more. A couple little. Okay. Getting there, guys. Just one more. Hope y'all have enjoyed this. I love my Mondays. Love me some Mondays with you guys. Bye, BG. Thank you. All right. We didn't add a whole bunch of water and waterfalls or anything this time. No bird stabbing here. Just cat hurting. Oh my gosh, Terry, you cracked me up. Okay, so there's that one. Some of them are a little more simple than others, you know. We don't have to have them all be, you know. All right, let's see here. Got a little bit of varnish, I think, on that one. All right, so now I got to do a little bit of painting here around the bird here. Let's add a little bit of kind of a pink. All right, this one will do, yeah, this one will make like Saturn or some rings. Like, let's see here. Let's see if I can get this fuzzed out enough. But I got to cover up. See, this is when you don't fussy cut all the way. You got to kind of improvise those areas around. Love the cards. They turn. Thanks, Fran. Thank you. One of my problems here, I'm working against a piece of thicker cardstock right there where I didn't fussy cut the bird out. So it's not blending well right there, but I'll make it work. All right. Get this little bit done. And again, guys, I'll post them all on Twitter in a little bit. Let me dry this. Yeah, about done. If Janet's started, y'all go ahead and go. I'll be done in just a minute. Trying to finish this last one. And thanks everybody for joining. I'll plan on being here Wednesday. I think I want one of his little wings to show a little bit more there. Maybe just go off the page. And again, I think I'll have let's come off this way and off that way. Well, I should have kept it on the same angle. It's a little compositionally not very good, but we're going to go with it. Alrighty. So thanks everybody. Thanks guys. Thanks guys. I'm going to go ahead and go, and I'm going to finish this one, and then, oh, well, let me just quickly show you all of them real quick. Alright, so I'm going to kind of tilt them so you can see the color. These two. See, the varnish has already got the milkiness out of it, just sitting here for a few minutes. I need more black right in there. It's too right there. I'll fix that. This one and this one. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed Smart Cards. The crane needs rocket blasters for feet. Oh my gosh, girls. Well, we could put a little glow around them. We could put a little bit of a glow around his feet. Well, the girls say he needs rocket blasters. So let's do that. Let's put a little bit of... No, it looks like he's walking on stilts. Oh my gosh. You girls. It looks like he's walking on stilts. We can't have that. It looks like space stilts. Crane in space stilts space. All right, guys. Well, we'll see y'all. We'll see you over. I'll get over to Janice in a little bit. So thanks, guys. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.